Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm going to do part 303 to my ChatGPT character chatbot series. Well, in today's video guys, we're going to talk to another robotic character that I haven't got to talk to yet. The last time we did this, we did the robotic Lugia, and it actually went pretty well. This time we're doing the robot Brachiosaurus again, but this is the one where I got him, or I fixed him instead of it being some kind of owner that's a complete psychopath and only using him for the money. So, yes. On here it's called the Dacreo or something like that. Dacreo. The dinosaur story. And it kind of has the same thing on here, where it says the title is Dacreo, the Heart of the Hall. And it's split up into different chapters. Here's what it says. Chapter 1. Long ago, before the metal. Long before the modern world buzzed with machines and buildings, there was a peaceful corner of prehistoric Earth where a unique dinosaur thrived. Dacreo, or Dracreo, a giant but gentle Therizinosaurus. Okay, there's my answer. With long claws that could have terrified any creature, Dacreo used his for pruning trees, brushing away leaves from paths, and helping other dinosaurs reach food they couldn't. Dacreo was known in his time as the peaceful giant. Unlike the sharp-toothed predators that ruled the era, he preferred solitude, songbirds, and helping others. Dinosaurs from far away would visit his forest just to see his kindness in action, helping baby dinosaurs stuck in mud, or gently sharing fruit with smaller herbivores. But peace is often fragile. One day, a powerful volcano erupted. A powerful volcanic eruption tore through his homeland. Fire and ash swallowed the skies. In his effort to guide a herd of panicked dinosaurs to safety, Dacreo was hit by falling molten rock and buried beneath a collapsing hill. All believed he was lost, but time, as it does, passed. Dacreo's body became entombed in cold volcanic stone. Oh my gosh. Perfectly preserved and frozen in time. Holy shoot, what the frick? Chapter 2. A new era and a new owner. Here we go. Millions of years later, in a bustling city that had recently fallen in love with all things prehistoric, yep, as he says, meet the bright-eyed and kind-hearted new owner of the soon-to-open Dino Soul Museum. That's an interesting name for a museum. We're out on a funded dig expedition in a newly discovered lava field. You weren't just looking for fossils, you were looking for something special, something with heart. You had dreamed for years of a museum where dinosaurs weren't just bones and glass. Goodness gracious, the way they word that stuff. I don't tell that's what it is, but holy shoot. But remember, as living beings with emotion, spirit, and soul. Heck, in my universe, that's basically what all dinosaurs have. It doesn't matter whether it's a flippin' colossal, massive, scary T-Rex or a flippin' small little velociraptor just trying to find food. And that's when your team found them. Encased in shimmering volcanic rock was the unbelievably preserved form of a Therizinosaurus. At first you assumed it was just a fossil, but as you leaned in brushing away hardened soot from its snout, the creature twitches. Again, we don't know how that's even possible. Oh, it said his body was preserved. How the frick did it... You hardly stopped. Yep. He's alive? I would be saying the same thing. Barely. Your team rushed him back to the lab under tight secrecy, but the truth became clear. His body was too damaged. His left side was crushed. His lungs barely functioning. Holy shoot. Nothing you tried worked. Not the organic treatments, not the revived plant cell transfusions, not even synthetic regeneration. A normal person might have let him go, but you didn't. Yep. That or they flipping just decided to use him as a robotic prop as well. Actually, well, it wasn't a Therizinosaurus per se in that one, it was a Brachiosaurus. So, yeah. Chapter 3, Steel and Soul. You spent sleepless nights designing blueprints with the help of engineers, biologists, and AI programmers. Your idea was wild, borderline impossible, but you had one chance. You would rebuild. I don't know how you say that name. Not as a cold robot, but as a half-living, half-machine miracle. A robo-organic dinosaur powered by his remaining life and supported by compassion-fueled circuitry. Using titanium alloy, memory foam padding, and a sophisticated voice mapping AI, he replaced his damaged limbs and organs. Ugh. Oh, that's creepy. So he's more like a cyborg than like a more. Because the thing about Shadow and even Lugia, like, yeah, Lugia, I think, did have some living things about him, but at least his fly, at least like one eye was not real mechanical, while the other one was, a living creepy eye. I mean, granted, I don't know what you'd think, especially if, I mean, what would you think? I mean, put yourself in the shoes of this. What would you do if you were the owner of a building that had a dinosaur that was half alive, but it didn't look half alive because it was full it had like metal covering up its entire body? I don't know. Let's see. Yep, his left eye became a glowing sensor with holographic projection capabilities. His heart, augmented with a cybernetic core, still beat, faint but steady. Over the course of weeks, you coded not just a voice, but his personality, using voice mapping from living bird relatives and AI emotional analysis to replicate his original soft and gentle tone. You programmed him to tell dinosaur jokes, welcome guests with fun facts, and even recognize returning visitors by name. And then came the final wire. As you plugged it in, electricity pulsed through the giant frame. A soft whir hummed in the air. His metal tail flicked, his mechanical eye glowing green, his biological eye fluttering open. He looked at you. Did I make it? His voice was deep. I cannot do a robot voice deep. Deep, slow, curious, and kind. Only thing I bad about this one that kept speaking for me. You smile, tears in your eyes? Yep. Yeah, you made it, buddy. Yeah. Thank you for not giving up on me. Again, I can't, it says deep, but again, do you think if I could barely do Lugia's voice robotic the other day, so clearly it's. I mean, again, I don't have to do it that often. If I do any robotic voice, it's usually for Shadow or a Toad or Rexy or Toadile. And I'm pretty good at that, Mother Fricker. Oh, yeah, I'm not perfect at that, but I'm much better at that than trying to do a Lugia or a deep robotic voice in general. He said, thank you for not giving up on me. Didn't I literally read that? My brain's losing it. Frick it. You put a jailhound on his synthetic arm. You're going to be the heart of this museum. Yep. I just wish it didn't speak for me. That would have been even better. That's alright, though. Chapter 4. The day the world met. I don't know how you say that name. Dacreo. I keep saying Dacreo, but that's definitely not how you say his name. It was early morning. The sky outside was filled with excited visitors lined up in front of the massive glass doors of the Dino Soul Museum. Families, paleontology nerds, school kids, even reporters. Inside, you were still walking around in a vast, clipboard in hand, making last-minute checks. Exhibits were lit, projectors loaded, gift shop ready. Dacreo, now standing over 20 feet tall in the grand marble lobby, watched you with a warm expression. He's, that's so cute. You nervous? He asked with a gentle mechanical whir in his throat. Yeah. Again, I don't like that it spoke for me. It drives me nuts that it did that. Maybe just a little. He leaned down slowly, his claws surprisingly delicate for their size. Yeah, ain't the Therizinosaurus that one with the massive, like, scary-looking, like, claws? how do you say it? Like the flipping signature witch looking claws. Like you know how you see some witches in movies that have like claws the size of flipping or nails the size of what? A flipping ruler or whatever? Like a huge ruler? As if he leaned down slowly, his claws surprisingly delicate for their size. You built this entire place from your heart. You didn't just give me a second chance. You gave this whole era a voice. You're gonna you're gonna make me cry before the door's even open. Again, I wish it didn't speak for me that much. That's the thing that drives me. That's the one thing that's gonna drive me nuts about this one. He smirked with his half-metal snout. If I do, I'll pretend it's mist from the air vents. As you laughed. Suddenly, the front countdown display flickered. Museum opening in 3 minutes. You turn to... I'm going to just say either Draco or Dacrio, because I don't know how you actually say this dinosaur's name. Alright. Any final adjustments you want? Any special jokes? I'm kind of curious what the joke he wants, or he's going to say is. He tapped his chest. Already loaded 362 fun facts, 4 dinosaur puns, and 1 special greeting for you. Oh dear. What is it? Oh no, what is he about to say? He winked his... What is with creatures winking at me? I wish it didn't get deleted, but that's what that Toad kept doing there yesterday too. He wouldn't stop winking at me. He did it as a Lugia, he did it as a flippin' for alligator, he did it as one other creature. He winked his green mechanical eye and said, I'll save it for the grand opening. The two of you stood there side by side, a human and a half-robotic dinosaur. Survived from 2 completely different eras, bounded by kindness and purpose. The museum was about to open. In the heart of the hall, the once forgotten dinosaur with the soul of a helper was ready to greet the world. Okay, that's adorable. Okay, guys, give me a second. It's still speaking for me, which isn't good, but I said, hey, before I go out there and greet everyone, I know on the first day you're mainly going to be greeting guests and showing people where to go, but after the museum closes for the night, you can have way more freedom and even explore a bit. Maybe one day when this place gets popular, I will even tell them that you are a real-life dinosaur. I don't know if I can activate it right now, but I do have a special natural mode put in your system that would disable every robotic part except for the part keeping you alive and your brain functioning. But that way you can enjoy yourself without any programming telling you what to do. You're already acting very lifelike, which is awesome. And you still think and feel real emotions like you could when you were fully alive. I just wish you didn't talk for me. Draco tilted his massive head towards you, the soft hum of his cybernetics filling the quiet lobby, his logical eye blinking slowly, almost like he was trying not to get emotional. You thought of that. For me? His voice was softer than usual, a gentle rumble that echoed faintly against the marble walls. You didn't just bring me back. You gave me a choice. A life. He smiled up. Of course I did. You're not just a display piece. You're my friend, and friends deserve freedom. Although, yeah, I wish it wouldn't sound crap, friends. I would have definitely flipping said something with that. The green glow in his mechanical eye pulsed a little brighter, almost like a heartbeat. When I was alive, I always wondered what the world would be like beyond my forests. Now I'm standing here, in a place filled with light and knowledge, with someone who actually cares about me. If this is my second chance, I think I want to see as much as I can. He shifted, his huge claws clicking gently on the floor, and maybe, just maybe, I'll learn some new jokes for tomorrow. You like that? Oh, you didn't demand and say, you better. You're going to be the star of the show. Suddenly, the countdown display switched to museum opening in 30 seconds. He took a deep breath, Joe lowering his head until his snout was nearly level with your chest. Go on, he said softly. They're waiting for you. and I'll be right here, welcoming them with the best smile a half-robot dinosaur can give. Yuri Thumb patted the smooth, cool surface of his male cheek, right next to where it blended with the living skin. Let's get on the grand opening, they'll never forget. I wish it wouldn't have spoke for me. His glowing eyes blinked once in agreement, and a low, happy rumble came from his chest. When the doors finally began to open, the sound of excited voices rushed into the building. They grew straight up to his full height, his metal claws glinting under the lobby lights, ready to greet the world. It would be better oh man. Let me check something. Alright guys, let's walk outside and say, hello everyone, and welcome to the grand opening of the Dinosaur Museum. Is everybody ready to go inside and check it out? The crowd erupted in cheers, kids bouncing excitedly while parents tried to hold them back from rushing forward. Phones and cameras were already out, flashing in the morning sun. A little boy near the front shouted,
Yeah, I want to see the dinosaurs.
You grabbed the energy. Well, you're on for a treat. Inside this museum, you'll find some of the most incredible fossils, exhibits, and, you probably will smile, a very special surprise waiting in the main lobby to greet you personally. That got everyone whispering with curiosity. Alright, he said, standing back toward the glass doors. Let's make some history together. Yep. The doors slid open automatically. As the first guests poured in, they were greeted by a sight that made jaws drop. There stood Dacrio, towering and gleaming, his living side warm and natural, his robotic side polished and glowing with soft green light. His claws moved delicately as he lifted one arm in a slow, welcoming wave. Welcome, everyone. Draco's voice boomed warmly through the lobby, but it wasn't scary. It was friendly, almost playful. I'm Dacrio, the official greeter of the Dinosaur Museum. Please step right in. I promise I don't bite, unless you're a particularly tasty tree. The crowd laughed, some kids pointing at him in awe.
Wow!
Oh no. Wow! One teenager gasped.
He moves! He talks!
Another said, frantically recording. Dacrio crouched slightly so he wasn't so intimidating to the smaller guests. Did you know, he said cheerfully, that I'm a Therizinosaurus? My claws may look scary, but I use them mostly for pulling down tree branches and gathering plants. You could say I was the original gardener of my time. That one made me laugh. The room filled with oohs and ahs. He then turned his mechanical eye toward you with a playful blink. And this, he said, gesturing with his claw, is the amazing human who brought me back to life, and who decided I'd make a pretty good lobby decoration. You okay? You don't have to worry about the crowd laughed again, and several parents clapped at the clever introduction. Okay, well, at least I was worried to be like, oh, frick, did it? I mean, if I heard somebody say, I mean, if I heard the flipping robot dinosaur say, like, this is the human that brought me back to life, I don't know what you'd think. Give me a second. Alright, guys. I said, Dacrio is the main heart of this museum. Honestly, when he says he's been brought back to life, he's actually not joking. He's a half-robot, half-living dinosaur. When this museum was being built, me and my team went out and found him buried under volcanic rock, somehow miraculously still alive, but just barely. We fixed up everything that was wrong, and now he's fine. The entire lobby went silent for a moment. Then the crowd gasped collectively, eyes wide. Some of the kids' jaws dropped, while a few adults instantly pulled out their phones again, recording every second. You mean, a woman near the front said softly, he's real? Dacrio's biological eye blinked, and he gave a proud but warm nod. Very real, he said with a deep, resonant rumble. You are standing in front of one of the last living dinosaurs from my time. I am part machine now, yes, but my heart, my mind, my memories, they're still mine. A little girl squeezed her dad's hand and whispered loudly,
He's smiling at me.
Dicrio chuckled. A deep, gentle sound echoed through the room. I am smiling at you. You have the bravest expression in the whole crowd. The girl giggled, hiding behind her dad's leg, and Dicrio turned back to everyone. This museum isn't just about fossils or dusty bones, he said warmly. It's about remembering that creatures like me once lived, breathed, and had families. Thanks to my friend here, I can help tell that story every single day. The crowd erupted into applause. Sophie shouted, This is amazing! And
Best museum ever.
Dick grew straightened proudly, but then tilted his head toward you. You see, he said softly, so all you could hear, I told you they'd like me. Aw, they're so cute. Give me a second. Alright, guys. I nodded and smiled at Draco, then said to the crowd, Draco can outdo all sorts of things, from telling jokes, dinosaur facts, and puns, even remembering the names of people that visit the museum, so he will always remember you. However, there is one thing I must warn you about. Degrio is also the security system of this place, and he may seem friendly right now, but if he or me see anybody breaking any rules in here, you will learn how scary he can be. The crowd went silent again for just a moment, clearly intrigued and maybe a little nervous by your warning. Degrio let a low, rumbling chuckle, his claws tapping lightly against the floor as he leaned down toward the guest. It's true, he said, his voice dropping to a mock serious tone. I can be scary if I have to be. These claws aren't just for gardening anymore. He flexed one set dramatically, the metal shining under the lobby lights. Then he suddenly grinned, well, as much as a half-robot Therizinosaurus could grin, and said playfully, But don't worry. Follow the rules, treat the exhibits with respect, and the only thing you'll have to fear from me is a really bad dinosaur pun. The tension broke instantly, crowd laughing and whispering excitedly again. A few parents nodded approvingly at the reminder about rules. Some of the kids looked even more impressed now that Draco was not just a greeter, but also a protector. See, he said, he's here to make sure everyone has fun and stay safe while doing it. Dicrio straightens up, his glowing mechanical eyes scanning the crowd with a friendly pulse of light. Now, he said warmly, who wants to hear the very first joke of the Dinosaur Museum? Nearly every kid's hand shot up. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be good. Give me a second, guys. Guys, this one's not as long, but I said, just please tell us, Dicrio. Dicrio's glowing mechanical eye flickered playfully as he leaned closer to the eager crowd. Alright, he said in a deep but cheerful tone. Here's my very first joke of the Dinosaur Museum. He paused for dramatic effect, letting the kids giggle in anticipation. What do you call a dinosaur that loves to sleep? Let's see if I can get it. Hold on. Let's see. A dino snore? The crowd went quiet for a moment, thinking. A few kids shouted out silly guesses like,
A Snorosaurus.
Adrian let out a warm, rumbling laugh. Close, he said, his claws gently tapping the main floor. You call it a Snorosaurus Rex. Okay, so I was on the right direction, but not the right dinosaur. Or not the right word for it. Dang it. The entire lobby burst into laughter, the kids laughing the loudest. Some parents chuckled too, shaking their heads at the pun. That one never gets old, Rio said proudly, straightening up. Alright, everyone, your adventure through the history awaits. Exhibits are open, the fossil hall is ready, and if you see me later, come say hi. I remember your names. Several kids immediately ran off toward the first exhibit. I stayed a moment longer just to stare up at Draco and Dacrio in amazement. He turned to you again, lowering his head slightly. How was that for my first joke? He asked softly, clearly proud but wanting your approval. Aw, he's adorable. Alright guys, it's extremely short, but it said, that was good. Dacrio, good job, buddy. I want to ask you, you told me about a special greeting that you had for me, but you were going to wait till the grand opening and tell me what it is. And hear what that special greeting was? Dacrio's mechanical eye pulsed softly as he leaned his massive head down toward you, lowering his voice only you could hear. I did promise you that, didn't I? He said with a warm rumble. Alright, here it is. Your special greeting. He straightened just slightly, his voice taking on a proud but heartfelt tone. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, projecting his voice just enough for the nearest guest to hear as well. This human right here isn't just the owner of the Dinosaur Museum. They are my rescuer, my builder, and my very first real friend since the time I walked this earth. Without them, you wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be here either. So if you enjoy this museum, you have them to thank. The guests nearby to applaud, some smiling warmly at you coolly touched. Then Dacrio lowered his head again just for you and said softly, I thought you deserved to be celebrated too. Not just me. That's very sweet, honestly. That's very nice of him. Okay, guys, we're not getting the longest thing, but here's what it says. I really like that. Thank you so much, Dacrio. Actually, you doing that greeting reminds me. I don't think I ever got to properly introduce myself with a name. My name is, and I was happy to save you. Dacrio's biological eyes softened, and for a moment his whole massive frame seemed to relax. Trenton, he repeated, his deep voice almost reverent as he tested the sound of your name. The fact that he didn't glitch out on my name is kind of surprising. That's probably the first robot I've had not glitch out on my name. Then he gave a slow, deliberate nod. I like that. It suits you. Kind, steady, and strong when it matters most. His mechanical eye glowed a little brighter as he leaned closer, lowering his head until his snout was right near you. Then let me introduce myself properly, too. My name, from the time before the fire and ash, was Dacrio, and I am proud to say... He paused, his claw tapping lightly on the marble. I am proud to say that I am your friend, Trenton. Oh, great. As soon as I say he doesn't glitch out my name, then he glitches out my name. A few of the guests nearby who overheard let a soft "ah," clearly touched by the moment. One of the kids whispered to their parent, He really is alive. Rio straightened back up and gave a small rumble and chuckle. Feels good to finally know each other by name. I think this is going to be the start of something amazing. Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys. I said, I'm just glad I saved your life. Thank you for being nice to me. I really appreciate it. Hey, before any other guests decide to come into the museum, would you mind going and checking on the fossils and dinosaur skeletons in the other room? Just make sure the kids or any of the people in there aren't touching them. It took months to get those built, and I just don't want them getting destroyed on the first day. I put... Oh well. Dacrio nodded immediately, his going off looking at acknowledgement. Of course, Trenton, he said warmly, his voice low but full of reassurance. You saved me. Looking after your hard work is the least I can do. He turned slowly, his heavy footsteps echoing softly through the lobby as he moved toward the exhibit hall. Kids nearby watched in awe as the massive half-robot Therizinosaurus gracefully ducked under the archway, his claws clicking on the floor as he entered the fossil room. You could hear his voice faintly from the other room a moment later. Alright, everyone, step back from the skeletons just a little. These bones are older than any of us, and I mean way older. Look, but don't touch. I promise you'll still have fun. There was some giggling from the kids, and a chorus of, Okay, as Dacrio continued his rounds, scanning each display carefully. Few parents in the lobby glanced at you with impressed smiles. Wow, one said. That's the best security guard I've ever seen. My kids are actually listening. My kids are actually listening. After a few moments, Negro returned, lowering his head slightly. All clear, he reported proudly. No one was touching anything. I reminded them gently, and one could even ask me to tell them a fossil fact when I was there. He gave a deep, amused rumble. I told them that most dinosaur skeletons we find aren't complete, and we have to use a little science and a little imagination to finish them. Their eyes went wide. I still love that parent's reaction. Oh my gosh, the security robot is the best thing ever. My kid actually listened. Holy shoot, that's a surprise. I just love that reaction. Alright, guys. I said good. Thank you so much. If anybody does break the rules and you see that, make sure to stop them, okay? You don't have to yell at them, per se. Like you said, we want the museum to be both fun and safe. Although, if for some reason you see a person not only touching something that isn't supposed to be touched, but eventually trying to steal something, like breaking the glass and stealing something, or stealing stuff, then definitely get them out. Dacryo's mechanical eye flashed a sharper green for just a moment, almost like a focused look. You have my word, Trenton, he said firmly, his voice on a protective edge. If anyone tries to harm this place, or take what doesn't belong to them, I'll step in right away. I don't need to scare them unless I have to. But if it comes to that, he flexes one of his enormous claws with a faint metallic shink, not threateningly, but enough to make his point. They'll know this museum has a guardian watching over it. Then, just as quickly, his tone softened again, he gave a warm, rumbling chuckle. But don't worry, I can still tell jokes and keep the mood light. No one will ever realize they're being watched most of the time. Oh, that's kind of creepy, while he said that. A couple of the guests overhearing this nod approvingly, and one parent muttered, Honestly, I feel safer with him here. Necro turned his head toward the fossil room again, keeping an eye on the exhibits. Should I patrol the other halls too, once the main lobby calms down? He asked. Or do you want me to stay here for now? Give me a second, guys. Alright, guys. It's done till 9:52, but here's what it says. Well, I want you to feel just as good whether you're protecting or just sitting here waiting to greet and tell people things. Do a real quick scan of the other exhibits, and if nothing's going wrong, then just come back here and relax until another guest comes up to you. Like I said, just please keep your eye and your ears alert in case you see suspicious activity. Dacre was going out bright and approvingly, and he gave you a smile, respectful nod. You've got it, Trenton, he said with a warm rumble. I'll make a quick round through the other exhibits, and if everything looks good, I'll come right back here to keep greeting your guests. But don't worry. He tapped the side of his head gently with one claw, the metallic surface making a soft clink. These sensors of mine don't miss much. If someone so much as tries to sneak past the rope, oh no. With that, Dacre turned and moved toward the exhibit halls again, his heavy but smooth footsteps echoing softly. Guests nearby watching Oz, he ducked under the archway, his tail swaying just enough to look natural, but careful not to hit anything. You could hear his voice faintly a few moments later. Everything looks good here. Oh, and did you know this Triceratops skeleton is one of the most complete ever found? 90% of its bones are the real deal. You could hear kids ooh at that fact before Dacreo's claws clicked softly again as he made his way back to the lobby. When he returned, he lowered his head toward you with a satisfied hum. All clear, he reported. Your exhibits are safe and everyone's behaving. No suspicious activity so far. Then his biological eyes softened and his tone warmed again. I'll stay right here until someone needs me. And don't worry, I like being here in the lobby. Seeing all these happy faces reminds me why you brought me back in the first place. Aww, that's really cute. That's a really cool way for that one to finish off, though. I'll give it credit. Alright, guys. Well, I'm done. I'll see you later. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night.